Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about the interactive whiteboard badge that you can earn on Badger, and specifically using ClassFlow. It's an online interactive whiteboard system that saves all of your planned lessons to a cloud for you to use at a later time. So today I want to show you a little bit about how it works, specifically with my mini lesson that I have planned, and lots of things that you can do. So first, to create a lesson, you have to pick a background or theme. So you just come up to this corner and click on Themes, and it will bring you to a bunch of different templates. So the one that I chose was Whiteboard, and then it automatically just applies to every single one that you do, every single new slide that you add. Next, you can add text and images to your slides. So for example, on this first slide, I added text called Around the World and Brazil right here at the bottom. And then I added a couple images. So the text is easy to add. All you do is click this text button, and the text box will pop up on your screen, and then you can type out whatever you want to say. Brazil. And then you can drag it to wherever you want it. Oh, and I accidentally added another one. Let's try that again. Brazil. And then you just drag it to wherever you want. Same thing with the pictures. Let's delete this because we already have Brazil on there. Okay. Same thing with the pictures. You can just upload them by using this camera and then drag them wherever you want them to go. Nice and easy. So my mini lesson is about Brazil, kind of based on the idea of learning about the 50 states, except on a broader scale. So learning about different countries around the world and expanding our vision. So I just want to go through it with everybody. So here's the first slide. Just a few pictures of Brazil. Main things that we think about when we think of Brazil, like the exotic animals, the rainforest, and Rio with the Christus statue. So my second slide is a picture, a map of Brazil, of South America, and this specific slide talks about how Brazil is the largest country in South America, and then asks my students to circle Brazil on the map. So the cool part about the interactive whiteboard is that your students can make edits on their own devices. So they could just take a pen and circle Brazil right there. The next slide is about Brazilian independence. So it says in 1822, Brazil declared independence. How long has Brazil been an independent country? So this requires students to do a subtraction problem within this specific slide, and just as a more interactive part of the lesson. There's also these really fun shapes that you can use within your interactive whiteboards. And as you can see, this specific shape is an arrow that just points to my big map. And over here, I have anchored my arrow, and you can adjust that in the settings. So you can say anchor all, anchor the movement, the resize, and the rotation. So we'll just say anchor movement, and while you're presenting this arrow won't be able to move, but obviously in the editing you can still move it around. Alright, the next slide is the Brazilian flag and everything that it represents. So we have an example flag in the right hand corner, and we have a blank flag in the middle. And so this slide is for the students to copy the example flag and create their own. So again, very interactive. Next slide. We have a lot of different animals and plants that are exotic but home to Brazil. And so these are just pictures, not as interactive, but the interactive part comes later in the lesson. So they'll learn about each of these specific animals, the cacao, and this fun lobster claw plant. Alright, the next part, it talks about soccer, since it's such a big part of Brazil. And so they can click on this link, and it pulls up a fun soccer video. Neymar scoring the game-winning goal for Brazil to win the gold medal in the World Cup. And so I have my students watch a little section of that just to highlight the emotion that is involved in these soccer games and how the country reacts and how involved they are. So next we have the logo, the soccer logo for Brazil. And then over here we have another shape, and this time this shape can be dragged, and when it's dragged it's cloned. So I just adjust that in the settings with actions, and then there's a drop down menu, and you can say clone on drag. So when you save this and we go to preview, I can actually replicate this logo by dragging and dropping the 5 stars above this new logo. So that's a fun little interactive thing for the students. Next we have a slide about Brazilian cuisine. So we're talking about lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, rice and beans, and one of the most favorite dishes in Brazil is called feijoada. And at the bottom there is a recipe that is linked. So it's just right here in the bottom hand corner. And you can, we'll just preview this so we can click on it. And it takes you right to a feijoada recipe. And that's just fun for the students to learn about different cuisine and maybe get curious about trying something new. Alright, and then the final slide is the assessment slide. So you can come up here and add assessments to your interactive whiteboard. And so to do that, you just click Create and Edit Questions. And so I've already put mine in. We'll see, it takes a minute to load, but we'll see them when they pop up. And these assessment questions are good because it gives you an understanding of what your students know and what you need to focus on. So most of these questions focus on new vocabulary that they've learned and grasping different concepts. So for my questions, I've attached a photo, and then I just have them, it's a multiple choice question where they decide which vocabulary word best describes the picture. So obviously this one is the Brazil flag, and this works only when you're presenting the whiteboard to your class, so we're just going to look at it in editing mode. So then, since we've learned about the cacao, they'll know that this picture is of the cacao, not of any of the other choices listed. We learned about the tapir, and they'll click the one that they think is right. And then finally the feijoada, they'll click on it, and then they'll get a score at the very end. Okay. So what I love about this is that it's very interactive, gives the students an opportunity to be involved in your teaching, and it's simple and easy to use. And it's just really fun. It's a change from what you normally do in your class. So thanks for listening.